Hello and welcome to my channel, Firzj here. In this new video I'll talk about the 3 new dungeons that exist in last Epoch. If you're a new player who's still playing the campaign or doesn't know what to farm and when, then this video might be useful for you. As I said earlier, this game features 3 different dungeons, each of them with unique mechanics and rewards. You might have probably heard about some of them or seen on the map, so we'll discuss all of them in the leveling order. But before you rush to these dungeons, you need to find a specific key. It can drop pretty much anywhere from any mobs or chests, but you have higher chances to find these keys from the monoliths in one of the in-game activities. So, the first dungeon you might encounter during the story is the Lightless Arbor. It is located in the ruined area in chapter 3. Once you reach the surface area, you can go to the left and unlock a new waypoint with the entrance. You should be at least level 22 by that time, or it's going to be a rough adventure. After you place the corresponding key in the gate and choose a difficulty, you will be introduced with the Burning Ember. This ember acts as a lantern and a debuffer. Any enemy that is affected by this light does less damage and takes more damage from you. You can also press D by default to send this ember to a target location and it will stand there until you recall it back. If you are getting hit, you will lose some of its stacks, but you can replenish it back to 100 by killing this ember construct. If you fall to 0, nothing bad would happen. You will just see less and mobs will deal more damage to you. However, if you die at any point, you will lose and have to use a new key. Once you find the exit to the second floor, you will add one new monster modifier to the dungeon, and there the game will teach you on how to burn pyres. This mechanic will be extremely important during the boss fight. On the first phase you have to burn 2 pyres that are protected by roots. You can target your ember to destroy the pyre while you are dealing with monsters and avoiding boss attacks. The second phase may seem simple enough, but here you need to pay close attention to the charging poisonous beams and avoid them at all costs, as they can one-shot your character. Once you defeat the boss, it is time to unlock the vault. Basically, this is the place where you can sacrifice your hard-earned gold. You can accept or decline many modifiers that would affect your final reward. Some of them cost significant amount of gold and it is only up to you to decide. At any point you can stop and open the vault. There you will find from 1 to 6 chests with modified loot. After that you can leave the area through the corrupted lake to the right and skip a large portion of the story and continue your way to the second dungeon. The second dungeon, Sulfur Bastion, can be found in the Imperial area in the Felled Wood area. You can safely play this dungeon once you're at least level 25. If you manage to clear this dungeon, you will be able to skip another half of the story and go straight to chapter 9. To open this dungeon, you will need to find the Sulfur Bastion key. Inside this dungeon, you will receive a new ability called Sulfur Shield. This shield can make you immune to fire or necrotic damage, but each cast consumes 1 soul. Killing enemies will give you more souls and of course loot. You will also notice that this dungeon has plenty of fire traps, necrotic mages and fire archers, so use your shield wisely to stay alive. Your base resistances will also help you a lot. You can simply start searching for the exit and ignore all the threats, but I'd personally recommend you to kill as many enemies on your way as you can, because you will receive plenty of souls that you can later spend at the Soul Gambler. But before you reach him, you'll have to deal with the boss. Cremorous can attack you with fire and necrotic abilities, and floor tiles can make this fight even harder, but since we have a shield which grants immunity to one element, it shouldn't take long to win this battle. Once you defeat him, in the next area you will find the Gambler. He is like Kadawa from Diablo 3, but you have a limited set of items you can gamble and there is no refresh button. Here you can gamble any weapons, armor pieces and accessories. Any item has a chance to become rare, exalted or even unique. Most of them have high tier rolls and they are not limited to your class. And the final dungeon, the Temporal Sanctum, is located in the ruined area. This place is going to be your main endgame activity because of Eternity Cache, aka the Forge, that allows you to transform a unique item with legendary potential and an exalted into a legendary. In order to reach this area, you also need to finish a specific quest in the Imperial era which unlocks the sealed door with the time rift behind it. To play the Temporal Sanctum, it is recommended to start on at least level 55, and don't forget to find the appropriate key to unlock the gate. Inside this dungeon you will receive a new ability called Temporal Shift. This will allow you freely to switch to Divine and Ruined Era. You can use this ability to bypass obstacles or closed gate and avoid enemies, but if you have a teleport you can ignore this mechanic completely and skip the area straight to the exit. Just walk along the edge of the map and at some point you will find the exit to the next level. Once you reach the boss, Julra, prepare to use Temporal Shift to avoid your deadly attacks and try not to stand still. After killing the boss you will receive some boss specific loot and gain access to Eternity Cache. On this forge you can make legendary items. Simply put your unique item with legendary potential from 1 to 4 into the slot and put in an exalted item of the same type in another slot. After that the cache will randomly select 1 to 4 stats from exalted and put them into your unique. If you are confused on what to do next after sealing cache, you should change your timeline with Temporal Shift. You will find your newly forged item in the Ruined Era. In case you can't put your item into the forge, you should pay close attention to what tier you select when opening the dungeon. Tier 1 will allow you to forge items up to level 50, Tier 2 65, Tier 3 75 and Tier 4 with no level restrictions. Now after we covered all 3 dungeons, here comes the question, what dungeons should I farm first? The answer is simple. If you have at least 1 million gold and you lack resources or items, then you can choose Lightless Arbor. If you want to gamble high tier items for your low level character, pick the Soulfire Bastion. If you have a unique with legendary potential and an exalted of the same type for your build, then it is recommended to play the Temporal Sanction. I would say that these 3 dungeons aren't the best place to level up your character and you should do monoliths instead. They are mostly used to skip the large portions of campaign and to receive valuables to tune up your build and become stronger. So there you have it. With these beginner's tips you can focus more on specific loot. Every single dungeon offers some valuable rewards and you don't have to play an entire story for that. While you're still leveling, these dungeons are pretty much optional and you will do just fine without them. However, once you start doing endgame monoliths, you should stash more exalted and uniques with legendary potential and then visit the Temporal Sanction. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments below what aspects of the game do you want to know more about. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more Last Epoch content. Have a nice day and happy farming!